Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so yesterday we've learned about doubling numbers to 100. Today, we will be applying it to our number stories, or simply call it word problems. And we will also be having odd numbers. Okay, let us have our steps in doubling a number. So this is just a revision first. Okay, partition will be the first step. Second step, double tens. Third step, we double the ones place value. And fourth step is we add steps 2 and 3, or the answers in steps 2 and 3. Now, how do we partition and why do we partition? Okay, partitioning is splitting numbers into smaller units so they're easier to work with. Okay, so yesterday we partitioned so that it's easier for you to double tens and ones. It's the same thing with halving. Okay, again, just to show you this, 35 is 30 plus 5. But later, since this is an odd number, it's not going to be 30 plus 5, but it's going to be 30 plus 4 plus 5, because an odd number, okay, are even number, or odd numbers are even numbers plus 1. Okay, so remember here, so when we partition later, it would be 30 plus 4 plus 1. Right, so let us, okay, all numbers when doubled are even numbers. So even if you double an odd number, the answer would always be even number. Okay, let's have this one. Okay, again, half of 1 is half. Okay, so 1 whole pizza, half of the pizza is here, part, and then half as well. Okay, let's have this one. Halving and doubling undo each other. So later you will also have 2 videos to watch. Okay, why is it halving and doubling undo each other? Okay, so that's because multiplication and division are inverse processes or inverse operations. Okay, let's go to our halving and odd number. So first we partition the even number before the number that is to be halved and write plus 1. Okay, later you will see how this one is going to be done. Next, half the tens place value, same thing as the one we did in doubles, half ones place value, and then we add the quotient. Okay, so let us have, or let's watch this one. Now let's have 35 as our example. Now 35 is an odd number, and remember that odd number is, or odd numbers are even numbers plus 1. Like 34 plus 1 is 35. Okay, so let's have this one here, 35. Okay, 5. Here, if we partition 30 plus 5, 5 would be the odd number here. So 30 plus, let's make an even number, plus 1. Okay, so I'm writing it in a different color, so later it will be easier for you to follow. Okay, now let's have half of 30. Okay, half of 30 would be, again, 15. So what number do we double to get 30? So that would be 15. Remember, always remember your inverse process. Okay, now let's go to our ones place value. Now let's have this 4. Now earlier, okay, if we did not do this 4 plus 1, now we are going to do 5 divided by 2. Now 5 is a little bit tricky. So we did this 4 plus 1 so that you're only going to divide 4 divided by 2. Now 4 divided by 2 is very easy, okay, since it is an even number, or 4 is an even number. Okay, so let's try this one out. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Now, just now we saw that pizza, okay, 1, always half of 1 would always be 1/2, or simply just half. Okay, so we are going to write it on this side. Okay, so that would be the extra. Okay, and then write half. Now remember that the answer for our division is called quotient. Now quotient, we are going to add 15 and 2. Okay, now why did I say only 15 and 2? What will happen to this half here? So later you'll find out, okay, when we write our final answer. So 15 plus 2, that would be equal to 17. Now what are we going to do with this one? Simple. We are just going to copy. Okay, so we are going to write only half. Okay, copy it on this side. Now we have our final answer, 17.5. Okay, so this is our final answer. What is half of 35? It's 17.5. Okay, so that was having an odd number. Now let's go to undoing halved numbers by doubling. Okay, and let's watch this video. Now, just now we said that halving and doubling can undo each other. So we are going to find out by solving our 74. So remember, when we divide or when we halve, we divide the number into 2. So here we already partitioned our number, and then 70, which is our tens here, divided by 2 is 35. Now let's go to our ones place value. So 4 divided by 2, of course, is equal to 2. Now our answer for division is called quotient. Now our quotient here are 35 and 2. So we are going to add our quotient, and that will add up, or the sum would be 37. Okay, so we are going to solve this using the inverse process. Okay, let us undo our half by doubling. So let me write doubling first. Okay, check by doubling. Okay, so later we are going to find out if our answer here at the bottom is going to be the same as 74 here on top. Alright, so 30, let me write the line. Okay, now we are going to write 37, and then partition this 37 into 30 plus 7. Now tens place value would be 30 divided by 30 times 2. Since we are doubling, we are doing times 2. So that would be 60. Now 7 times 2 would be 14. Now 14, later we are going to partition it when we add our products. Right? So 60 plus 10 plus 4 here equals 74. Okay, so now we know that we can actually really inverse the process or undo multiplication and division, or doubling and halving. Alright, so let's go to our next example. Okay, let's go to our next example of undoing halved numbers by doubling. Alright, so here's another example. Okay, let's write 36. Now 36 partitioned will be 30 plus 6. Now what is half of 30? So half of 30 divided by 2 is equal to 15. Again, when we double 15, that would be 30. Now 1's place value, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. Again, double the 3 is 6. Now 15 plus 3, that would be 18. Now let's check using doubling. Okay, let's try it on the other side. Now check by doubling. Okay, so there's no space, so I'm writing it close to each other. Okay, 18 would be written here on top. So 18, okay, partitioned would be 10 plus 8. Oops. Okay, so we are going to double 10. So 10 times 2 equals 20. 8 times 2 on the 1's place would be 8 times 2, or double 8, would be 16. Now 16, again, we are going to partition it later. Okay, into 10 plus 6. Now our products here would be 20 plus 16. Okay, so 20 plus 10 plus 6, that would be 36. Alright, so we have the same 36 up here and 36 down here. Correct. Alright, so now, boys and girls, I want you to get a paper and a pencil, because you are gonna be doing a little bit of work for your Edmodo later. Okay. Right, so your teacher can pause this video and while waiting for others who have no books, and for those who have no paper yet. Okay. Alright, so as I've said earlier, we are going to apply doubling numbers to our number stories. So here, okay, what you guys are going to do is you're just going to write on your paper whether you are going to double or halve the numbers. Alright, so I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, so your teacher will pause this video and you'll have 2 minutes to answer whether number 1 is doubling or halving. Number 2, doubling or halving, or double or halves. Okay. Number 3, are you going to double or are you going to halve? Number 4, are you going to double or are you going to halve? Okay. Alright, so I think your 2 minutes is done. So, or if your teacher has paused the video, okay, your 2 minutes is done. Now let us answer numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 if it is, or if you are going to double or half this word story or word problem. So there are 2 classes, each with 27 children. How many children all together? So are you going to double or are you going to half? Okay, so answer for the first one is you are going to double. Alright, so you're going to check your answer there. For number 2, Alice has scored 74 points in a computer game, but then loses half her points. How many does she have left? Okay, loses half, so that means you are going to half number 2. Okay, number 3, 2 children are given 32 pounds to share. Now remember, share, we divide it by 2, so we are going to have our number 3. Now for number 4, Mrs. Holden is 37 years old. Her mom is twice her age. Twice means we double. So how old is her mom? Okay, number 4 is double. Okay, so you go to Edmodo and answer these 4 questions with correct answers. Alright, see you tomorrow. Bye.